In this problem, they're saying that you have um, this point 0 comma 0, the origin, and what they're asking is basically about the minimum slope of this line. Okay, one point is at the origin, and then the other point must lie on this curve given by the equation y equals x squared minus x plus 16. And the function we want to minimize here is slope. Now, we could get the answer, so let's get the answer, okay? And not even doing pretty much any calculus, okay? By just sitting here and being like, okay, what's the slope of this line? 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 And then finding the minimum one and picking that one. Now, let's go through that and let's get the right answer. And then we're going to do the calculus and we'll match the calculus with the answer that we choose. So first, let's see, what is the minimum slope? So, okay, when x is 1, right, what's the y value? The y value is 1 minus 1 is 0 plus 16. So the y value is 16. So it's 1 comma 16 and 0 comma 0, right? I want to find the slope between those two. What about this one? This one's going to be 4 comma, what? 4 squared is 16 minus 4 is 12. 12 plus 16 is 28. So 28 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0. Right, these are always the 2 points. So then what's the next one? 7. 7 comma 49 minus 7 is 42 plus 16 is 58. 0 comma 0. And then 8. 8 squared is 64 minus 8 is 56. 56 plus 16 is 72. 0 comma 0. And now I'll compute the slope of the line joining each of these 2 points, and I want to find the one that's a minimum. Okay, so which one's going to be the minimum? So let's see, let's say that this is y2, the x0 coordinate. It's going to be 16 over 1, so the slope of this one is 16. Then this one is going to be 28 over 4, right? Y1 minus y2 over x2. 28 over 4 simplifies to 7, 14, 21, 28. And then 58 over 7 simplifies to 8. So this is 8. And then the last one, 72 over 8, simplifies to 8. So by this logic, and this is correct, B will be the correct choice. Now let's do the calculus, which is a little bit more tricky, right? We don't want to sit here and do this, and we don't want to rely on not being able to do calculus. We want to be able to do the calculus. So now what we should see is that we can come up with a function for the slope in terms of m. How is it that this is done? Well, m in general, forget about it depending upon x. Let's just talk about slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In this case, though, if I take it that y2 is, or one of the points is 0 comma 0, or I should say y1, x1, y1, sorry. Let's say that the first point is the origin. Now the other point on this x comma y, let's just call it x comma y, right, must be the point on this curve, right? So this is one point, the origin, and then my other point, my x2 comma y2, is some point on this curve. But I know that the y value for this curve is given to me, y equals x squared minus x plus 16. And then instead of writing y2 here, I could write x squared minus x plus 16. over x2. x2 is just x minus the y2 minus y1. Make no mistake, y1 is 0, so it's just minus 0 here. So just y2, which is this value. And then x2 minus 0 is just x. And now I have a function, m of x. And what I want to do is I want to minimize this function. So I want to solve for the critical values and see where the function goes from decreasing to increasing, because decreasing to increasing is going to give me a minimum. Right? It's decreasing, 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 and then it's increasing, increasing, increasing. And the way I can determine where this function is increasing or decreasing is by finding the derivative, m prime of x. Now, you could do quotient rule, or you could do some algebra on this and get results. I think that at the end of the day, it might be a little bit quicker to just do quotient rule. I normally would just do the algebra, but then you have to do algebra again. So let's see if it's easier. I did it the other way. The first time I did this, I did it by doing the algebra, and I didn't do the quotient rule. Now let's try and do the quotient rule. So let's see. F prime times G minus G prime times F over G squared. So I have f prime is the derivative of the top 2x minus 1 times x minus G prime is 1 minus f. So I'm going to distribute the minus x minus 16 over all of this over x squared. And then this simplifies to 2x squared minus 1x minus an x squared minus a 16 minus an x squared minus a 16 plus an x over x squared. And then I have that this cancels with this gets down by 1, and I get this, which is what you would have got if you did the algebra on the other one. So this is the form that's actually better than if you did it the other way. If you did it the other way, you would have to do some algebra to get it back in this form, because you want to solve for when this function equals 0. So you want this to equal 0. And you just got to think, the numerator, right? What makes the numerator 0? Well, x minus 4, x plus 4 should equal 0. This gives me two critical values, x equals 4 and x equals negative 4. Now, if we draw the number line, right, for what I want to maximize this function, I want to minimize this function, remember, right? I only care if you look carefully, it says between 1 and 8. So, I mean, I really don't care about this negative 4, but I could illustrate to you that it won't really matter. The slope, I think, might be maximized there. But though, if you look, right, the derivative, if I factor the top part, this is my m prime of x, this is the derivative, is x minus 4 times x plus 4 over x squared. So if you look, I take values, I'll plug in values, I'll show the whole thing just to illustrate, but we really don't need to worry about this negative 4. But okay, so to the left of negative 4 would be negative 5. Negative 5 minus 4 is negative, so it's negative over here. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative. A negative times a negative is positive. The top part is positive. The bottom part, since it's squared, is always positive. So it's positive divided by positive. So all here up to the negative 4, m of x is increasing. Now I pick a value between negative 4 and 4. I'll pick 0. 0, 0. Negative 4 times 4 is negative. So the top part is negative. And then 0. Oh, I can't pick 0 because it's not in the thing. But okay, 1. 1, 1, 1. So 1. So now I'm picking 1. 1 minus 4 is negative. 1 plus 4 is 5. So this is positive, and then this one's negative. So the top part is negative, and then the bottom part is positive, making the whole thing negative, which means that my slope is decreasing. So my slope is increasing, increasing, increasing. Now it's decreasing, 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 all the way till I get to 4. And then I plug in 5. And when I plug in 5, I get a positive here, and a positive here, and a positive on the bottom. So my slope then begins to increase at 4. And this right here is a minimum. And that makes sense because it says at x equals 4. It's a minimum. And now B is confirmed with calculus.